Y'all, I went into this movie expecting it to be trash. After seeing it, do I think it's actual trash? No. Do I think it's good? No. This is my non-spoiler review of The Dark Phoenix. There will be no spoilers in this video whatsoever, but tomorrow I will be posting a full spoiler-filled review, so stay tuned for that if you've seen the movie. Okay. So the movie started out really, really strong. I actually loved the first 30 to 40 minutes. I thought they were so much fun. They were so interesting. I was on the edge of my seat. It really felt like a good X-Men movie. Like a whole team was happening and I loved it. The whole space sequence where the Dark Phoenix actually enters her, and that's not a spoiler, that's in the trailers, hello. That whole sequence was incredible. I was like heavy breathing. I was like I knew what was gonna happen, but it was so exciting. Jennifer Lawrence was so good in that scene. And even after that, the movie was so good, but then literally after 30 to 40 minutes, there was a significant like cutoff, downfall. Like it just got boring. The whole middle of this movie, in my opinion, is so boring. It's so much dialogue, but it's not interesting dialogue. It's like boring dialogue. It's like, okay, are they done talking yet? Where are the action sequences? I was just getting kind of antsy and like restless and my butt cheek was falling asleep. Towards the end, it kind of picked up again and the action kind of picked up, but I didn't realize that it was towards the end. It didn't feel like a full movie. The whole third act felt so rushed. The pace was so weird in this whole movie because the first 30 minutes were like so high energy and then boring, and then the end was like, what? Is this the end? Like, what is happening? And then when it actually ended, I was legit like, I was just disappointed. I was expecting a whole different feel to the ending, a whole different big moment, you know? But it just really felt anticlimactic. And I'm not trying to drag this movie because I really did love the first 40 minutes, but after that, it just fell off the wagon. But I will say that the action sequence towards the end is good. It just doesn't feel like an ending action sequence. I'm gonna talk more about the ending in my spoiler review tomorrow. So for now, let's move on to the actors. Jennifer Lawrence was so good in this movie. I think it was her best Mystique role so far. She was so likable in this, so warm. My dog is squeaking his toy. Hey, stop it, stop it, stop it. Thank you. She was so likable in this, it's so warm, and I really feel like she's the glue that holds the X-Men together in this movie. She's so good in this. Now, y'all, I mentioned Jennifer Lawrence before Sophie Turner for a reason. I feel like Jennifer Lawrence made a bigger impact than Sophie Turner did in this movie. And it's not Sophie Turner's fault. I felt like her character in this movie was very bland, and I felt like no connection to her whatsoever. And it wasn't her fault. It was just like the script or the character development. I don't know, but I just did not feel connected to her at all. Sophie Turner, though, did a great job acting. Her crying scenes were so good. She had these little moments of like, oh my God, what's happening to me? And I was like, yes, girl, act. Yes, queen. But for some reason, I still didn't care about her character. And actually, a couple days ago, I rewatched X-Men Apocalypse so I could kind of like refresh my memory. And I didn't connect to her in that movie either. I feel like they really made her character bland. So her character did not carry this movie the way that she should have. Storm was good, she was fierce. I just don't like her fake accent. I don't know why they made her have a fake accent because Halle Berry in the old movies did not have an accent. And these movies are supposed to be prequels to those movies, so it just doesn't make sense to me. The whole continuity of this series is a mess. James McAvoy was good. Like always, he's a good actor. He's very sweet and warm. I like him. Michael Fassbender, I've never connected to his character, Magneto. I don't know if we're supposed to because he is kind of like the villain in the future. But once again, there is no continuity, so maybe we are supposed to connect to him. I don't know, I don't. Now y'all, Ty Sheridan, Scott, aka Cyclops, I love him in this movie. In Apocalypse, I was like whatever about him because he just didn't do anything really. But in this movie, you could feel his love for Jean and his pouty lips. He's always like this and it's like so sweet and endearing. I just feel like he's a very sincere actor and I loved him in this. Now, Jessica Chastain. A lot of people don't like Jessica Chastain. I really like her. I think that she's a great actress, but I don't think that her character belonged in this movie at all. I'll get more into that in the spoiler review, but I don't think she was needed. I can't give anything away, but mess. Not her, the character. Can I just talk about Dark Phoenix's look? Okay, so I do love the cracks in her face. It does feel like she's like a lava queen and there's like lava bubbling under, about to come out. That was great, and the IFX looked great, everything looked great. But she didn't look fierce. The costume department really should have gone more superhero-ish, or like super villain, whatever she is. Give me a fierce look. It doesn't have to be like big titties out like the comics. It just has to be fierce. And this outfit that they gave her, she was in a trench coat the whole time with her hair like slightly like slicked back. It's like, imagine if the Phoenix Force actually gave her like fiery red hair, like bright red hair. That would have looked so much cooler than this just little slicked back moment. It's like the breeze just made it go, and it just stayed that way the whole movie. It's like, that doesn't feel like a transformation to me. It doesn't. Also, we barely saw her in her full Phoenix form. She has cracked her skin a few times. Give her some Aveeno. It just felt like maybe they didn't have the budget to make her look cooler. I mean, a costume doesn't cost much. They could have just made a nice costume, but I don't know. That was a big issue for me. Like visually, she just did not look that powerful or that cool. And Sophie Turner is a stunning queen. She's gorgeous, but this outfit was like model slash detective. It didn't work for me. Most of the effects were good. All of her skin cracking, like I said, looked amazing. It looked perfect. Now, some of the effects towards the end did look a little not finished, especially at like one part, which I'm gonna talk about more in the spoiler review. It looked like it was like legit halfway done. I felt like I was watching like a video game for a second. But other than that, most of the effects were great. I have so much more to talk about, but it's all spoilers. So I'm gonna save those thoughts for tomorrow's video. What would I rate this? Out of 10 Reginas, AKA my dog, I would give it 5.5 Reginas, 5.5. The first 30 minutes were great, but the rest was messy. So that is my opinion. Remember, this is just my opinion, so please don't get offended if you disagree with me. Remember to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more movie reviews and trailer reactions. I'm not a movie critic, I just love movies.